Ah! My rib! He hit me! He hit me! The scream shot through the parking garage like a gunshot, sharp enough to freeze every echo in place. Dylan Reed writhed on the concrete, clutching his side, pointing a trembling finger at the only man who hadn't moved an inch. "This janitor attacked me." Faces turned, radios crackled, security rushed in, and Samuel Brooks, silent, steady, broom still in hand, stood in the center of the storm without flinching. No shouting, no excuses. Just a calmness that made Dylan yell even louder. Because nothing terrifies a liar more than a man who doesn't fear their lie. And what no one in that garage, not Dylan, not security, not even Claire, knew yet, was that the quiet janitor they were circling like a criminal was someone they should never have cornered. Someone whose truth, once revealed, would shatter every accusation and make Dylan regret the moment he opened his mouth. This is Hidden Black Echoes, where the stories of struggles are told. The rise and the voice of those the world tried to silence. If you believe a person's worth isn't defined by their job title, tap like, hit subscribe, because what's about to unfold in this garage will expose the truth Dylan never expected and reveal a strength Samuel never needed to announce. "He attacked me," Dylan shouted, voice cracking just enough to sound believable. "This janitor assaulted me. Someone call security." Samuel blinked once. Just once. His voice was soft, steady. "I didn't touch you, son." Dylan scrambled backward on the concrete, making the fall look worse. "Oh, you're lying now," he yelled. "You shoved me, you ugh! I think my rib is cracked." Footsteps thundered down the ramp. Two security officers rushed in, radios buzzing, hands hovering near their belts. "Reed, what happened?" one asked. Dylan pointed at Samuel, face flushed with fake outrage. He attacked me! I was just walking to my car and he shoved me to the ground." The second guard turned to Samuel. "Sir, is this true?" Samuel lowered his broom slowly. His expression didn't change. Calm. Almost too calm. "No," he said gently. "I didn't lay a hand on him." Dylan scoffed loudly. "Oh, of course the janitor says that. He hates me. He's always giving me dirty looks, acting like he's better than everyone." Samuel's gaze didn't waver. "I don't hate you," he replied quietly. "And I'm not better than anyone." Dylan stumbled to his feet with a dramatic wobble. His gym bag fell open, revealing his black belt, which he made sure everyone saw. "Security, listen," Dylan groaned. "I'm a trained fighter. If I get attacked, I know what it looks like, and this—" He gestured at Samuel. "This man shoved me. Check the cameras." Security exchanged uneasy glances. The older guard sighed. "Reed, this doesn't make sense. Why would he—" "Because he's jealous," Dylan snapped. "He hates that I'm younger, stronger, more successful." Samuel didn't react, not even to the insult. He simply stood with his broom in hand, posture humble, shoulders relaxed, eyes calm. That calmness unsettled Dylan. He stepped closer, voice rising. "Oh, now you're quiet? You think silence makes you innocent?" Samuel exhaled softly. "It makes me patient," he said. Security radios crackled. A message came through. "Chief Hayes heading down. Officer Cole en route. Stand by." Dylan smirked, a dangerous, satisfied smirk. "Oh, good," he said. "Let's get a real cop here. That'll settle this." He shot Samuel a taunting glare. "Let's see how calm you are when they cuff you." Samuel didn't respond. He simply resumed sweeping, slow, steady, unbothered. The younger guard frowned. "Sir, with respect, this is a serious accusation. Maybe you should stand still." Samuel nodded once. I'm not going anywhere. Dylan scoffed again. Yeah, because you're guilty. One of the guards turned sharply. Reed, that's enough. We haven't investigated anything yet. Dylan raised his hands dramatically. Fine, fine, do your job. Just remember, assaulting an employee is a crime. He's going to jail tonight. He grinned. Samuel didn't. He kept sweeping the same small patch of floor as if the entire world wasn't collapsing around him. Claire Davis stepped out of the elevator at that moment, holding a file folder. She froze when she saw the crowd. What's going on? Dylan immediately pointed at Samuel. He attacked me. Ask security. They saw me on the ground. Claire's eyes widened. What? Samuel would never. You weren't here, Dylan snapped. I was walking by and he shoved me, hard. Samuel looked up at Claire, his expression steady. Miss Davis, he said softly, I didn't lay a finger on him. Claire swallowed. I believe you. Dylan burst out laughing. Oh, please, he's a janitor. He's just trying to save his job. Samuel's jaw tightened ever so slightly, but he said nothing. He just kept sweeping. Dylan stepped closer again. Oh, what's that look? You think you're zen? You think sweeping floors makes you wise? Let's see how wise you are in handcuffs. Claire stepped between them. Dylan, stop. Why? Dylan barked. He's guilty. Should we give him a trophy for assaulting me? Samuel paused his sweeping. No, he said softly. But we should tell the truth. Dylan's nostrils flared. Oh, the truth is coming, he growled. When Officer Cole arrives, you're done. Samuel's expression didn't change, but something flickered in his eyes. Recognition. A quiet, knowing sadness. As if he already knew exactly what would happen next. As if he'd lived through far worse than a young bully with a black belt and an ego problem. Security radios buzzed again. Officer Cole arriving in 60 seconds. Dylan cracked his knuckles and smiled with sick satisfaction. Oh, this is going to be fun. Samuel lowered his broom, stood perfectly still, and whispered to himself, Here we go. The parking garage felt colder now, the kind of cold that didn't come from the concrete, but from fear, from unfairness, from a lie spreading faster than the truth. Claire stood in front of Samuel like a shield, arms crossed, chin raised. Dylan, stop lying, she snapped. I saw you talking to friends earlier. You weren't hurt. Samuel never touches anyone. Dylan clutched his ribs dramatically and staggered back as though her words physically struck him. Oh, now you're calling me a liar? He groaned. Wow, amazing. The janitor has groupies now? Claire stepped closer, fury heating her cheeks. You're framing an innocent man. Dylan smirked through his fake pain. Innocent? He shoved me so hard I hit the ground. Maybe you didn't see it, Claire. Maybe you walked in at the wrong time. Happens? Security Chief Ramon Hayes finally arrived, panting, irritated, already annoyed he had to leave his desk. What's going on? Ramon demanded. Dylan turned toward him like a kid running to tattle to the teacher. Chief, thank God. He attacked me, Dylan said, pointing at Samuel. I was walking past, he shoved me to the floor. Ramon looked at the janitor, looked at Dylan's dramatic rib holding, looked at the two guards. Is this true? He asked the younger guard. The guard hesitated. We didn't see the actual push, but we saw him on the ground. Dylan gasped exaggeratedly. Because he pushed me. Claire threw her hands up. Oh my, Dylan, stop, you're acting! Dylan turned to Ramon with a wounded gaze. You see? I'm the victim here, and they're ganging up on me, all because I work in corporate and he's... He gave Samuel a slow, cruel, dismissive look. Just the janitor. Samuel closed his eyes briefly, not in defeat, not in fear, but in quiet disappointment. Ramon crossed his arms. Samuel, do you want to explain? I already did, Samuel said softly. I didn't touch him. Dylan burst out laughing. Oh, come on, he barked. He's going with the silent monk routine again? Claire stepped in front of Samuel. You're twisting everything. Samuel is the calmest man in this entire building. He wouldn't hurt anyone. Ramon rubbed his temples. Claire, I appreciate your loyalty, but this is serious. If Dylan says he was attacked. If Dylan says? Claire echoed. That's your investigation? Ramon snapped. Claire, enough. Her jaw tightened. Dylan winced again, slumping against a pillar dramatically. Oh my God, it really hurts. Maybe I should go to the hospital. Ramon's worry grew. Should we call paramedics? Dylan waved him off. Let's not get dramatic, I just want justice. His eyes flicked to Samuel, malicious, satisfied. Ramon nodded reluctantly. Fine. We'll let the police handle it. Claire's mouth dropped open. You're calling the police on Samuel? She shouted. Claire! He's innocent. We don't know that. Yes, WEDO. The two security guards stepped forward. Miss Davis, please calm down, one said. No, Claire said firmly. I won't calm down while you railroad a man who has never harmed a single person. Ramon sighed. You're not helping. Dylan leaned against the wall again, groaning loudly. Oh, my side, ugh! I can feel the bruise forming. This is definitely assault. Claire glared at him. You're a terrible liar. Dylan shot back. And you're a terrible judge of character. Ramon's radio crackled again. Officer Cole arriving soon. ETA, 90 seconds. Dylan straightened instantly, pain suddenly less severe. Good, he said. Finally someone competent. Claire shook her head. You're going to ruin a man's life over an ego trip, she whispered. Dylan shrugged. Not my fault he snapped and shoved me. Samuel spoke for the first time in minutes. I didn't shove you, he said quietly. And you know it. Dylan's expression sharpened with irritation. Look at this. He's gaslighting me. Chief, are you hearing this? Ramon nodded slowly, caught between caution and incompetence. Samuel, maybe you got overwhelmed. Maybe there was a misunderstanding. Samuel's eyes lifted. Calm, sad, steady. No misunderstanding, Samuel said. I didn't touch him. His voice was so clear it echoed. Ramon turned away, uncomfortable with how sincere Samuel sounded. Claire stepped closer, voice trembling with anger. Chief, look at him. Really look. Does this look like a man who just assaulted someone? Ramon hesitated, just for a second. Then Dylan clutched his rib again with theatrical flair. Ow, Chief, oh, it hurts when I breathe. Ramon immediately snapped back into belief. Okay, that's enough questioning. Officer Cole will decide. Dylan smirked triumphantly. Yeah, he said. Let the cop handle this. He shot Samuel a poisonous glance. You're done, old man. Samuel didn't react. His expression didn't change. But Claire saw something, a flicker of something deep in his eyes. Not fear, recognition, as if Samuel already knew exactly who Officer Cole was, and exactly what was about to happen. The younger guard pointed toward the elevator. We need to keep this area clear. Officers arriving any second. Claire refused to move. If he's being accused, I'm staying. The guard sighed. Fine. But don't interfere. Dylan straightened his shirt and forced one last groan. Oh, this is perfect, he muttered. Let the officer see me in pain. This janitor is going to jail tonight. Samuel closed his eyes again and whispered, almost to himself, truth arrives faster than lies. At that very moment, the elevator dinged, a single, slow, echoing sound. Officer Nathan Cole stepped out. The world held its breath. The elevator doors slid open with a soft metallic sigh. But the sound hit the parking garage like thunder. Officer Nathan Cole stepped out. Tall, composed, broad-shouldered. His footsteps echoed with the steady confidence of someone who had walked into chaos many times before. Ramon straightened instantly. "Officer Cole, thanks for coming." Cole nodded once, scanning the scene with quick precision. Dylan leaning on a pillar, groaning dramatically. Claire standing protectively near Samuel, security guards tense, and Samuel silent, calm, broom still in hand. If this moment has you locked in, tap like and hit subscribe because the calm you're watching right now is seconds away from becoming the turn no one in this garage will ever forget. Dylan pushed off the pillar and limped forward. "Officer, thank God. Arrest him," he said, pointing at Samuel. "He attacked me for no reason." Cole didn't look at Dylan. Not yet. His eyes went straight to Samuel, and in that instant, something shifted. Not in Samuel, but in Cole. His pupils widened slightly, his posture straightened, his breath paused for half a second. Recognition. Deep, quiet, undeniable. But he didn't speak it. He didn't salute. He didn't reveal anything. Not yet. He simply nodded to Samuel, a tiny, almost invisible gesture of respect. Samuel dipped his head in return. Dylan, unaware, kept whining. "Officer, he shoved me so hard I hit the ground. My ribs are killing me. He could have broken something." Cole turned his gaze slowly to Dylan. "You said he shoved you?" he asked in a steady voice. "Yes," Dylan blurted. "He did, right there." He pointed at a random spot on the floor. Cole nodded slowly. "And you fell how?" Dylan blinked. "What? He shoved me hard, so I just fell." "How?" Cole repeated. Dylan's mouth opened and closed. Samuel watched silently, expression unreadable. Cole's tone stayed calm. "Show me." Dylan hesitated. "What?" "Show me," Cole said again. "How did you fall?" Dylan's bravado faltered for a moment. I don't know, officer. It happened so fast." Cole raised one eyebrow. Usually victims remember the moment of impact. Dylan swallowed, voice cracking. "Well, I was just walking, and he shoved me and, Which shoulder?" Cole asked. "Huh? Which shoulder did he shove? Left or right?" Dylan blinked rapidly. My left. No, my right. Actually, both." Cole's expression didn't change, but Claire saw something. He already knew Dylan was lying. Cole crossed his arms. "Your story changed 3 times." Dylan's breath hitched. "That doesn't mean anything. I'm in pain." Cole glanced at Ramon. "Chief, where's the spot Reed fell?" Ramon pointed. "Right over there, officer." Cole walked over to the area. The concrete was dusty, untouched. No skid marks, no handprints, no dropped items. Cole crouched. "Reed, if you fell here, show me where your hands hit the ground," Dylan stammered. I didn't pay attention." Cole stood up. "Victims instinctively brace themselves during a fall," he said. "There would be signs." Dylan paled. Claire stepped closer, folding her arms. "Maybe because he never fell." Dylan glared. "Stay out of this!" Cole ignored the outburst. "Did anyone witness the shove?" he asked. Dylan smiled. "Security found me on the ground." Cole turned to the guards. "Did you see the shove happen?" The older guard shook his head. "No, officer. We saw him on the floor when we arrived." Cole nodded. "So no one actually saw Samuel touch him?" Dylan grew frantic. "Officer, he did shove me. I swear. Look, just arrest him." Cole's voice dropped, calm enough to sound polite, sharp enough to cut steel. "Do you know how serious a false assault report is?" The words hit Dylan harder than any punch. He stumbled. Well, what? Are you accusing me? I'm asking, Cole said. Are you certain, without question, that this man assaulted you? Dylan's jaw tightened. Yes, he snapped. He's just a janitor. Why would I lie? Cole looked at Samuel again, and the respect deepened. Samuel's face remained composed. Calm, almost patient. But there was something in his eyes, a kind of knowing sorrow, like he'd predicted this entire scene before it happened. Cole turned back to Dylan. Reed, he said, I notice you're holding your ribs. Dylan nodded quickly. Yes, because he... But when I asked where you fell, your story changed. When I asked which shoulder he shoved, your story also changed. Dylan bit his lip hard. Cole stepped closer. Let me examine your injuries. Dylan jerked back. No, that's personal. Cole's eyes sharpened. Medical refusal noted. Claire smirked under her breath. Cole faced Ramon. Chief Hayes, you filed him as the complainant? Yes, Ramon said nervously. Dylan insisted. Cole nodded once. Then he turned back toward Samuel. Sir, he said quietly, I will need a brief statement. Claire watched closely, because Cole's tone had changed. Not the tone of an officer speaking to a suspect, but the tone of a man addressing someone he deeply respected. Samuel nodded. Of course. Dylan blinked rapidly. Well, wait. Why are you talking to him like that? He's the criminal. Cole gave Dylan a cold look. We'll see. And for the first time, Dylan looked scared. For a moment, the parking garage felt like the air had been sucked out of it. Officer Cole stood between Dylan's frantic lies and Samuel's quiet, immovable calm, and the silence that followed was thick enough to feel. Claire held her breath. Security Chief Ramon shifted uneasily. Dylan's bravado cracked at the edges. Cole's eyes stayed locked on Samuel. He took one step forward. Slow, deliberate, heavy with meaning. Samuel didn't move. He simply met Cole's gaze with the same stillness he had carried all night, the kind of stillness only a man who had seen real storms, real battles, real losses could possess. Another step. Dylan swallowed hard. What's he doing? Claire whispered. I don't know. But she did know. Something was off. Something was about to happen. Cole inhaled deeply. Then he stood straight, shoulders squared, chin lifted, feet together. And then he saluted. A crisp, perfect military salute that cut through the room like a blade. The sound of Dylan's breath hitching echoed sharply. Security Chief Ramon froze mid-step, eyes wide. Claire's hand flew to her mouth. The younger guard whispered under his breath, Holy, is this real? But Cole didn't waver. His salute was unwavering, precise, respectful, the kind given only to someone of the highest honor. When he finally lowered his hand, his voice filled the garage. Sir, Cole said, loud enough for everyone to hear. It's an honor to see you again. The word sir hit the room like thunder. Dylan stumbled backward as if shoved. I don't, what, sir? What do you mean, sir? He's a janitor. Cole didn't even glance at him. His attention was fully on Samuel. And Samuel. Samuel's expression softened, just slightly, as if acknowledging a truth he had hidden for years. He nodded. Good to see you too, Officer Cole. The familiarity in his tone sent chills through the group. Claire's voice trembled. Samuel, who are you? Cole finally turned to face them all. You're asking the wrong question, ma'am. He pointed at Dylan. He should be asking that question. Dylan's face went white. Cole took a step toward him. You accused a man, this man, of assault. Dylan stammered. But he sweeps floors. Cole's jaw tightened. That's the only reason you thought you could lie, because you didn't know the truth. He turned back to Samuel, and then he said the words that shattered the room. This man trained half the officers in this city. Claire's knees almost buckled. Ramon grabbed a nearby pillar for support. Dylan's mouth fell open. Cole continued. He is a decorated veteran. Not just that, he's a retired lieutenant colonel. The title echoed in the garage, heavy and commanding. A lieutenant colonel. Samuel Brooks, the janitor. Claire whispered, voice trembling. Samuel, why didn't you tell us? Samuel shifted his broom slightly, his voice steady and humble. Because it doesn't matter who I was. What matters is who I am. And right now, I'm the janitor, nothing more. Cole shook his head with deep respect. Sir, with all due respect, you are much more than that. Dylan's back hit a concrete pillar as he tried to retreat. Lieutenant Colonel, him? No, that's impossible. Cole turned on him sharply. Impossible? Let me tell you what's impossible. He stepped forward, voice rising. What's impossible is the level of restraint this man showed while you lied, insulted him, mocked him, and tried to ruin his life. He pointed at Samuel. This man has seen real combat, led real soldiers, made decisions you couldn't comprehend, and you thought you could humiliate him? Dylan's breathing turned shallow. Claire crossed her arms tightly, every emotion flooding her eyes. Ramon finally found his voice. Colonel, I had no idea. Please forgive. Samuel held up a hand gently. No forgiveness needed. You believed what you saw. Cole shook his head again, voice laced with admiration. That's why he earned our salute and our respect. He turned to Dylan. You, on the other hand, filed a false assault report, a criminal offense. Dylan blurted out desperately, I didn't know he was... Cole cut him off. You shouldn't have to know a man's rank to treat him with dignity. Silence fell again, a deep, heavy, judgmental silence. Dylan's legs finally gave in, and he slid down the pillar onto the floor. What have I done? He whispered. Cole exhaled sharply, his authority filling the space. You disrespected a decorated officer, a hero, and tonight you learn what consequences feel like. He reached for his handcuffs. Everyone watched. Claire's eyes glistened with tears. Ramon bowed his head. Samuel simply stood there, calm, patient, humble, the quiet legend no one ever expected. Dylan Reed slid down the pillar, shaking violently, his face drained of all the cocky bravado he'd flaunted minutes earlier. Officer Cole stood before him, handcuffs ready. No, please, Dylan begged. I didn't know who he was. I swear I didn't know. Cole's voice stayed hard. You shouldn't need to know someone's rank to treat them with respect. Dylan's breath hitched. That's not fair, he cried. He embarrassed me. Cole leaned forward. No, you embarrassed yourself. He turned to the garage full of witnesses. And you all saw it. Dylan's eyes filled with tears. I'm sorry, I didn't mean... Please, don't arrest me. I swear I'll apologize. Cole clicked the cuffs open. The sharp metal sound echoed like a final judgment. Dylan Reed, Cole said. You are under arrest for filing a false police report. Dylan shook violently as Cole secured the cuffs behind his back. No, please, I'm begging you, Dylan sobbed. Don't take me to jail, please. But Cole didn't look away. You wanted consequences for an innocent man. Now you get to feel what consequences actually are. He pulled Dylan upright. The young man could barely stand. Claire exhaled sharply, her anger fading into something sadder. Ramon lowered his head. Then Cole turned toward Samuel. "Sir, thank you for your patience." Ramon approached quickly. Samuel, I don't even know what to say. We're sorry, all of us. I should have handled this better." Samuel shook his head calmly. "You believed what you saw. That's human." Claire stepped forward. "Samuel, are you okay?" He nodded gently. "I faced worse than words." Ramon hesitated. "Do you want Dylan fired?" The group fell silent. Even Cole paused. Samuel took a breath. "No," he said. "He's young. Let him learn from this, not lose everything." Dylan broke into fresh tears at those words. Cole shook his head in awe. "You're a better man than most." Samuel looked away, embarrassed. "I just want to get back to work." But Cole held up a hand. "No, sir, not yet." He gestured towards the elevator. "You deserve recognition, all of it." They took the elevator up together. When the doors opened into the lobby, Samuel froze. Nearly 24 employees stood waiting, some with hands folded, some with eyes red from hearing what happened. All silent. Claire whispered, "They know." Officer Cole stepped forward. "Everyone," he said, "you may not understand the depth of what happened tonight, so let me be clear." He motioned toward Samuel. "This man is a retired lieutenant colonel. He trained officers, saved lives, and shaped the next generation of protectors in this city, including me." Gasps rippled through the lobby. Samuel shifted uncomfortably, gripping his broom lightly. Cole continued. "And tonight, he was lied on, humiliated, and disrespected, yet maintained more discipline and composure than most soldiers do in uniform." Samuel whispered, "Officer, that's enough." But Cole shook his head. "No, sir. Respect must be given where it is deserved." He turned to the staff. "You owe him gratitude." Claire stepped closer, her voice trembling. "Thank you, Samuel, for who you are and what you've done." The room murmured in agreement. Ramon cleared his throat. "Sir, if you ever want your old career back, we will do everything in our power to support it." Samuel smiled faintly. "No, I chose peace for a reason. I'm right where I want to be." Cole nodded. "And because of that humility, you're honored tonight." There was a moment of stillness. Then Cole stepped aside. "Colonel Brooks, please." Samuel walked toward the glass doors. Employees moved without being asked, forming a respectful corridor for him to pass through. No applause, no noise, just deep, silent honor. Samuel stepped through the lobby slowly, the broom still in his hand, not a symbol of lower status, but of quiet strength. Claire wiped a tear as he passed. Ramon bowed his head. Even the guards straightened their posture in respect. At the door, Cole pulled it open for him. Samuel paused, looked back, and saw every employee standing tall, not mocking him, not ignoring him, but honoring him. He nodded softly, then walked out into the evening air, head high, heart calm, dignity unbroken. The man they once overlooked was now the man they would never forget. If this story reminded you that dignity isn't measured by status, and real strength doesn't need to be loud to be undeniable, tap like and hit subscribe so you never miss the next story where truth rises, lies collapse, and quiet honor gets the respect it deserves.